So Time released this article, The Secret History of the Shadow Campaign That Saved the 2020 Election. Well, that sounds interesting. Let's read more. So basically, this is saying corporate America turned on Trump because of his attempts to reverse the results, many of which backed him in 2016, and now they were calling for him to concede. To the president, something felt amiss. It was all very, very strange, Trump said on December 2nd. Within days after the election, we witnessed an orchestrated effort to anoint the winner, even while many key states were still being counted. In a way, Trump was right. There was a conspiracy unfolding behind the scenes, one that both curtailed the protests and coordinated the resistance from CEOs. Both surprises were the result of an informal alliance between left-wing activists and business titans. Both sides would come to see it as sort of an implicit bargain inspired by the summer's massive, sometimes destructive, racial justice protests, in which the forces of labor came together with the forces of capital to keep the peace and oppose Trump's assault on democracy. Their work touched every aspect of the election. They got states to change voting systems and laws and help secure hundreds of millions in public and private funding. They fended off voter suppression lawsuits, recruited armies of poll workers, and got millions of people to vote by mail for the first time. They successfully pressured social media companies to take a harder line against disinformation and used data-driven strategies to fight viral smears. They executed national public awareness campaigns that helped Americans understand how the vote count would unfold over the days or weeks. This is the inside story of the conspiracy to save the 2020 election. Based on access to the group's inner workings, never-before-seen documents, and interviews with dozens of those involved from across the political spectrum. I almost feel like they're trying to add fuel to the fire. I mean, it wouldn't be shocking, it's what the media always does. But they couldn't have chosen some better wording for this? Some may look at this, even outsiders, and think they needed a conspiracy to save the 2020 election? Well, how legitimate was that? Ian Bassin says every attempt to interfere with the proper outcome of the election was defeated. But it's massively important for the country to understand that it didn't happen accidentally. The system didn't work magically. Democracy is not self-executing. That's why the participants want the secret history of the 2020 election told. Even though it sounds like a paranoid fever dream, a well-funded cabal of powerful people, ranging across industries and ideologies, working together behind the scenes to influence perceptions, change rules and laws, steer media coverage, and control the flow of information. Best part right here. They were not rigging the election, they were fortifying it. And they believe the public needs to understand the system's fragility in order to ensure that democracy in America endures. Protecting the election would require an effort of unprecedented scale. As 2020 progressed, it stretched to Congress, Silicon Valley, and the nation's state houses. It drew energy from the summer's racial justice protests, many of whose leaders were a key part of the Liberal Alliance. And eventually it reached across the aisle, into the world of Trump-skeptical Republicans, otherwise known as the Lincoln Project, appalled by his attacks on democracy. I saw this reply, and I can't agree more. Democrats who read it see an explanation of how concerned, good faith people secured voter rights and prevented disinformation. You know, those good faith people. Those corporate billionaires that they want to eat. And Republicans who read it see an admission from elites in media, big tech, and politics of foul play. I see it as people can actually be programmed, aka brainwashed. It almost reminds me of now, when the media, sports, everyday conversation revolve around Orange Man bad, white supremacy, racism, white privilege. Who am I kidding? There's not any elite people trying to divide us for their own personal gain.
Can you confirm the Politico story about the president warning his family members to avoid any conflict of interest with his presidency and their business ties?
Well, I'm not going to get into private conversations between the president and his family members. We all have lots of conversations with different family members, I'm sure. The president is committed to ensuring we have the most ethically vigorous administration in history.
They trying to silence me, but I won't let it happen. Smooth criminal thought, Michael Jackson. We non-fiction in a world that's full of capping. Give an Oscar to these people cause they acting. Move different in this town. When these people come around, they'll shut your ass down for the wrong view. They gon' make sure you conform, ask you up and make you whores.